Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to the Truthful YouTuber tag. This tag was created by Mel Thompson. If you do not know who she is, I will have her channel linked down below so you can check her out. I have been following her for a pretty long time, I think well over a year at this point. I found her, if you are curious. I always like to hear how people find other YouTubers, but I found her when I was looking up reviews for the Too Faced Chocolate Bar Gold or Chocolate Gold palette. She did a review and tutorial. Fell in love instantly, been watching her ever since. So I was super excited when I saw that she created a tag and I wanted to go ahead and do it too. So there are 16 questions in this tag and the first one is, have you ever received a product, tried it, didn't like it, and then decided not to review it? And I would say that the clouds are out in full glory today because this is like the third time I've had to stop and fix my lighting. Okay, so the lighting in here is going to be probably super crazy because there are a lot of clouds and they're moving very quickly, so I can't keep up with changing it because it would take me forever to film this. So I am sorry ahead of time if you see that I get darker and lighter, darker and lighter. Anyway, have you ever received a product, tried it, didn't like it, and then decided not to review it? And I would say yes. I get sent a lot of stuff. I mean, not a ton of stuff. I don't want to sit here and sound like, yes, I get a lot of stuff. But I do get sent a fair number of things. It used to be a whole lot, like several packages a week. And now it's thankfully, I feel like I'm the odd one out when I say thankfully. But it's kind of slowed down to like maybe one a week, maybe, you know, 2 or 3 every couple of weeks. And that I am very thankful for because it's something I can actually process. It doesn't get too overwhelming. But anyway, all that to say, yes, I still do get sent a good amount of products. I buy a lot of products, so there are products that either I just end up passing along or I try it, really don't like it, and just don't mention it on here. Honestly though, I would say ever since I started the Shop My Stash series, it's not that I don't review it, I just might not, you know, feature it in a monthly makeup review or make its own video. I typically though, whenever I do a Shop My Stash and bring it into my collection, you're gonna hear about it when I do the next Shop My Stash because I have to like take it out and I let you know like, oh, didn't like this, I'm decluttering it, or oh, I'm just passing this on because I don't want to keep it. Skincare, on the other hand, is more of an area where I feel like I would have some cracks where I just don't like it and I don't mention it. I did do a skincare fails though, where that is trying to kind of catch any of those products and kind of share with you guys the products that just don't work for me. And there's no kind of deception there. It's just either they slip through the cracks, I don't think about it, I don't get around to doing it, I'm not able to feature it in a video, that sort of thing. So there's my answer. Question number 2, product you used alone but don't show or use online. Not much for the most part. Like I said, Shop My Stash, I show you guys what I'm using day in and day out, makeup wise especially. Skincare I don't really show much of, but I am going to be doing a updated skincare routine very soon because I had a couple of people ask. But one thing I will say for this answer is my eyeliners and eyeshadow primers. I feel like I really don't show them, mainly because they sit in my drawer and I kind of sit in front of them. So in my Shop My Stash videos, if you ever watch them, there's just this little thin drawer kind of right in the middle of the desk where I keep all my eyeliners and all my eyeshadow primers. And I never shop that stash. Every day when I sit down to do my makeup, I just kind of open up and pick what I want if I don't have anything specific to try for that month in my everyday makeup drawer. So that's something that I use and I don't really show online. But with that said, whenever I do a video and I share what I'm wearing in that video, I do list it out there for you guys. Which, by the way, a little bit of a side note, but I do want to say I'm going to start doing things a little differently with my what's on my face section. I used to be like listing everything out from like eyeshadow primers to, you know, the very, like every single thing I put on my face. But it's a whole lot. And it's a whole lot to actually like write down and remember and stuff like that. And then it's a whole lot to write up and go get the links for. And it's just not a part that I particularly enjoy. So let me know if you're someone who always goes there and likes to see everything. But if I don't hear anyone say, you know, anything different or that you guys really like having all the products that I use on my face every day, I think I'm going to be bringing it back, kind of just giving you guys the eyeshadow palette that I use, the lipstick that I'm wearing, the highlight that I have on, and maybe like the foundation. That's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, that was very much a side note, had nothing to do with the tag, but I think I answered question number 2, so let's move on. Question number 3, products you want but won't buy because you don't support the brand. I would say the Kat Von D. Kat Von D came out recently with like a waterline pencil, or it's like a liquid liner, but it's specifically for your waterline and it's supposed to be budge proof. And I am so intrigued. Every time I am on the Sephora website, I'm always looking at it and I'm really wanting to buy it, but I'm just not comfortable buying it right now with everything going on with, not even with everything going on with her. I feel like recently in the last year, I've kind of been pulling back from her. I used to be a big fan, not a big fan, but I used to really enjoy Kat Von D makeup. I was very intrigued with what she came out with. I just enjoyed it, and because she was a big eyeliner person, and I am someone who enjoys winging on my eyeliners, I always kind of looked at her for, you know, her liquid liners and stuff like that. I was always very intrigued with the Kat Von D line. But over the past year, I've really been pulling back more and more. I think it started around when she started sharing more about her now husband. I forget what he was back then. I don't think they were married when I started, you know, paying attention. But she started sharing more and more about him and, you know, other things. I started watching her Insta stories, and that's really when I kind of really pulled back, and I'm just not comfortable with some of the things that I have learned about both Kat Von D and also now her husband, Jafar, I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable, but I'm definitely super duper intrigued in that waterline liquid liner thing that she has, because it seems like it would be perfect for my watery eyes, but I just can't do it at this time. Question number 4, do you have any blocked words? This question's pretty simple. No. At this time, I don't have any blocked words. Not that I'm opposed to it, but I just haven't seen or received comments with a certain word or phrase enough for me to block it. So no blocked words yet. I am very thankful. Question number 5, do you delete comments? If so, why? Yeah, I've deleted a few comments. Honestly, not many. I think maybe like 5. Like I could count them on one hand how many comments I've deleted. So definitely not much. Most of them have been just pure spam, basically. And then 1 or 2 where they were just pure hate. Like I know I've told the story before where I was moderating for Samantha for a live chat, and I had to block someone, and he came to my channel and just like spammed the heck out of me, just calling me all sorts of names on several of my videos. And I just went and deleted all those because he was just kind of a whack job. And then there was also another lady that I was getting a lot of comments, and it was one of those kind of like, hey, check out my channel kind of comments. But the reason I ended up deleting him, because I do kind of let most of those just go by and leave them on my, you know, in my comment section. But the reason I deleted those was because she would take the same comment, like copy it and just paste it to every one of my videos. And then anytime I posted a new video, she was like the first comment on there. And it just got annoying. So I deleted it. But I think those are basically the only comments that I've deleted. But I'm definitely open to deleting comments. But for the most part, I do leave it. Like if you're rude in a comment or just come across rude, I tend to leave those because I try to always read my comment section from a very like monotone perspective. Because, you know, depending on the mood you're in when you read something, it can come across really the wrong way. So even if I take something as a little bit of a like a dig at me or a little bit rude towards me, I just kind of let it go, because I feel like that it could have just been an off day. It could have just been the way they worded it and they didn't need it. And I just try to give them the benefit of the doubt and move on and just respond kindly to them. And I mean, I've had a couple comments where I respond kindly back, and then they leave a comment saying, oh, I hope, you know, you didn't take offense. I did not mean that rudely. And I was like, hey, it's okay. Like, it's all good. Thanks for letting me know. But yeah. Question number 6, do you block people? I know I blocked one person, the guy that like came from Samantha's channel and was just like spamming my videos. I blocked him, and then I hid another one. I know you can either block a person or you can just hide them, and I forget the term, I think it's just hide. But basically they can come and comment on your channel, but it just takes like, if they look at my video, they'll see their comment there, but it doesn't show up to me and it doesn't show up to anyone else. So that's, if you're not aware, that's hiding. But it's not something I do regularly. Like you would have to leave really hateful comments frequently for me to be like, okay, you need to be blocked. Question number 7, have you ever lied about a product to stay on good terms with the brand? I would say no, though in the beginning I definitely would be nicer. I would just be more sweeter when mentioning the cons, if that makes sense. Like I've always been someone to try to find the good in everything, even, you know, if I don't like a product, I do try to think of it from, you know, the other side perspective, someone who might not like my preferences or might not have my skin tone and that kind of thing. But in the beginning, I think I was a little too sweet. So I definitely feel like I've grown a lot, whereas now it's just kind of like, hey, it's a PR list. I'm just going to give you my honest opinions, and if I'm removed from a PR list, that's fine. There are so many brands out there in the world that if I'm removed from one PR list, I feel like that opens me up to, you know, exploring more brands, different brands than I would, like products from different brands that I wouldn't have tried otherwise if I just kept, you know, being on this one PR list and getting the product sent to me. It kind of forces me to go out and check out different brands, check out different products, because at the end of the day, I'm definitely a makeup addict. Like I am on a lot of PR lists. I don't try to make light of that. I am very thankful for all the PR lists that I'm on. But with that said, like I made Diamond at Ulta last year, so I I still like buying makeup even though I'm sent a lot. But yeah, I definitely feel like I have grown over the past couple years from when I started blogging to now, and I don't feel like so bad when I would share the cons of a product. And that's the thing, like whenever in the beginning I would sugarcoat things, it wasn't to like stay on good graces with a PR team or anything like that. It was mostly like I just felt bad saying something negatively about a product in general, and that's why I would sugarcoat it. So it's just a PR list. That's why I try to remind myself. At the end of the day, it's just a PR list, and if I was dropped from every single PR list, and if I never bought makeup anymore this year, which isn't gonna happen, I would still have so much makeup to talk about. So I shouldn't be worried there. Question number 8, have you ever initially liked a product when you reviewed it, then changed your mind but didn't let your audience know? I'm sure I have because I'm human, but for the most part I do try to do a change my mind video and kind of bring it back to you guys and let you guys know. But I think I've only done 1, maybe 2, and I can have them linked down below if you're curious. But for the most part I do try to come back and let you guys know if I have changed my mind. Question number 9, influencer you don't trust. Ooh. So I actually had influencer on here, but you know what? I never watch her videos, but I thought I would take this opportunity to tell you about another type of influencer I don't trust, who I kind of still keep an eye on and follow, and I just hear so many people talking about her, and that is Trend Mood. I know Trend Mood is so popular, but I cannot get on board. I cannot follow her because I don't trust her, and I just think I know her beginning, and I know this isn't very popular, but I actually have several friends who were used by Trend Mood to get where Trend Mood is. So I know I always see, I have a lot of friends who, go to events and see Trend Mood and say how sweet and amazing she is, and maybe she is, but from a business standpoint, I don't trust her. And when like scandals break out around Trend Mood and the pictures she shares and being early, and she's all like, oops, I didn't know I was supposed to share that, or oops, I didn't mean to start drama. Like, I don't trust her when she says that, because I feel like everything she does is extremely strategic.
Hey, so editing Katie here. I feel like I should have used the word allegedly a little bit during the course of this part. I'm not someone who has receipts, so it's not like I can show proof of this. For the rest of this part, just hear me saying allegedly before I make accusations. So yeah, I just wanted to input that in here. But anyway, let's continue on.
So going back a little bit, just to give you guys a little bit of an inside scoop, when Trend Mood first started out, before she was on brands' PR lists and getting all these products sent free, and before, like ahead of time, she used to take bloggers' pictures that they would take with their PR, list that they got early so they could take pictures. She would take their pictures, crop out their watermark, and then post it to her own page and put her own watermark in there, so that as more people started subscribing to her, because she did, bring all of it together in one concise place. So I love that about that. But as she got bigger and people started, going and turning to her, she was still cropping out bloggers' watermarks and putting her own on there. So when people would find Trend Mood, see all of these brands that she was keeping in touch and all their new launches, and they would follow her and share her pictures that had her watermark weren't even her pictures, but they were going around and everyone was like, oh my goodness, Trend Mood knows all this stuff. Like, she gets all the scoop ahead of time. And so they would go and follow Trend Mood and not the original creator, the original taker of the pictures. And she tends to just block people if they, especially in the beginning when bloggers would go on her page and say like, hey, that's my picture, can you remove your watermark and put mine back? She would just block them and kick them off her page altogether. So for those reasons, I cannot support Trend Mood. And anytime I see people supporting her, it's like, yes, I understand that she's bigger, maybe she's changed. I don't think so, because I've seen a couple controversies and things she puts on her page and leaves up on her page that I feel like she strategically did that to gain traction on like Instagram, to help with the algorithm, to get people coming and seeing her pictures. You need people to be talking in the comments. So yeah, that is a little bit about Trend Mood and why I'm just not, I just don't trust her, and I just can't support her. And maybe this is just something, when you shop at some place and you have a bad experience, even though everyone else loves it and loves to shop there, you just can't, because you had a bad experience, and because it's personal, you just can't participate. And maybe it's because of that, and I do have friends and acquaintances who had their pictures stolen and who has had a lot of issues with Trend Mood when she was smaller, before she got to where she is today. That's just why I just can't. I do not follow Trend Mood. I do not support her. Whenever I did my When Will I Buy It, I did not list her as someone to follow. I got all my pictures from somewhere else, because it hurts to see someone so successful and to know that one of the reasons they got where they are is by stepping on the backs of so many people. So anyway, I feel like I've ranted enough about her. That's who I don't trust. Moving on. Influencer I trust the most. I feel like this should come as no surprise, but I trust Samantha March inexplicitly. Like any review she gives, I fully trust it, and I trust Jen Loves Reviews. I love watching Jen for her in-depth, you know, ingredient analysis and her in-depth research. Love her for that. So I would say those two are probably the people, like, if I had to just like cut down and not subscribe to like anyone, if I had to just cut down and only pick one, I think I would say Jen Loves Reviews, just because I love the more in-depth and the research she does behind the scenes. But if I'm wanting someone just application-wise, then Samantha. So I'll leave you with those two, Samantha and Jen Loves Reviews. Two very amazing ladies that I love. And there's so many other people, like I hate just naming two because there's so many ladies that I love and trust on YouTube, and I definitely do want to do a video shouting some people out because I just watch so many ladies that I love and support and think they are fantastic. Question number 11, secret tip or product application you don't show while on camera. I don't really have any secret tips. I know the other day, or I think it was during my Duper Dud You Be the Judge for the Subculture versus the NYX grind, I shared that because this eye is hooded and this eye is not, I try to bring my my crease color up higher on this side and keep it kind of normal on this side to try to make them not look so lopsided. So that's the only kind of trick I have, but for the most part, no, I don't have any secret tips. Question number 12, have you ever shown one product but were actually using another one? My answer, because I wrote some notes just to make sure I like kept on track, but my answer was hopefully not. Like, if I have done it, it was completely innocent, and I still to this day do not realize that I did it, because I would never do that. Question number 13, have you ever not disclosed a sponsorship? In the beginning, like way in the beginning, when I first started blogging, I remember taking a few, they were sponsored at the time, but I didn't realize it. But basically someone gave me an article to share on my blog and paid me like 10, 20 bucks or something like that. So yes, those were sponsored, and I didn't know at the time that I was supposed to disclose. So there were a couple of those when I was, like I said, first starting out, didn't know anything, and they should all be gone from my blog at this point. When I realized it, I just took them down. So in the beginning, there were definitely a couple posts that I put up saying like, oh my gosh, like, you want to pay me for me to post this article for you? Sure, that sounds awesome. And then, you know, a little while later, as I started blogging more, I was like, ooh, that's not good. So I ended up removing them. And ever since then, no, like, I disclose if I am sponsored. I actually have not done any sponsorships on my YouTube channel, but on my blog, I do sponsorships, not regularly, but like every now and then I'll have, like, within a month or two I'll have a bunch, and then like none for the next 6 months. It's very sporadic, but I do them on my blog. And whenever I do, at the very top, like before anything, before any picture, I do sponsored by, and then at the page break, like right before where I get into the sponsored section, I do a little disclosure saying that it's sponsored, and at the very end, the last sentence is saying and disclosing that it is sponsored. So I definitely try to make sure you guys know, if you are reading my blog, when it is sponsored and when it's not. But whenever I do a sponsored video, it will definitely be disclosed. Question number 14, have you ever had a bad interaction with a brand? I feel like I probably have, but a little something about me, like, I have a very bad memory, and I especially have a bad memory when it comes to bad, like, situations or bad experiences. And what I mean by that is, like, if I have a really bad experience, give it a week, a month, a year, I tend to just block it out of my mind and move on, and I don't remember it until, like, something specific comes up and, like, brings it back to the front and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, like, that was horrible. So when I'm sitting here all happy and everything's great, I don't remember it, but maybe in another day or two, if something happens to, like, spark my memory and bring it back to the forefront, they'll be like, oh yeah, that brand. But yeah, sitting here right now, I don't think so. Question number 15, have you ever bandwagoned with other people's thoughts on a particular product? No, I've never been much of a bandwagoner, and, you know, like, there's a very big, like, I think it's called cancel culture right now. I'm definitely not a part of that, because I don't want to be a part of that, but I did put here that sometimes I feel like I'm forced to bandwagon. And what I mean by that, and the example I'm going to give you, is the Tarte foundation and the Beauty Blender foundation. When they came out, there was such an outrage over it that even though I was intrigued by the products, and honestly the Beauty Blender I was really wanting to try, I didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because I didn't want to deal with any of the hate or any of the controversy. I just honestly didn't want to deal with the hate. I don't mind, you know, differing of opinions if people, you know, wanted to come to my video and, you know, write some stuff in my comments, whatever have you, but I just didn't want the bandwagoners coming into my video and leaving a bunch of hate. So I just ended up not touching that. at all, and I feel like I bandwagoned even though I didn't mean to. And I know I really shouldn't have that much fear of backlash to, you know, to not do something on my channel because I don't want hate, because it's gonna, I feel like my mindset also is that hate's gonna come at some point, whether I like it or not. But anyway, where was I going with that comment? I feel like I bandwagoned without even meaning to. Question number 16, things other creators do that get on your nerves. Okay, this is the last question. Whew, this is gonna be longer than I thought. So I know I mentioned before the whole like looking at the viewfinder instead of at the camera, because when you are watching it from a viewer standpoint, I find it very distracting when the person is looking like to the side and you know they're looking at themselves instead of at you. I know that's definitely a pet peeve of mine, but I was trying to find something else because I've already mentioned that before. And this is what I came up with. When YouTubers diss other YouTubers. And I'm gonna have to explain that because I don't know if that explained it very well. But basically, I just actually heard a YouTuber say this the other day, and I was just like, that's something that annoys me, and I can mention in this video because it did grate me a little bit. But basically, she was just implying that she is someone who goes and buys her own products and doesn't just depend on products sent to her. And so because of that, her reviews are more honest. Like, she didn't say it that way. I'm not saying she said it like that. But when she was talking, I was just kind of like, huh, you're just like really like throwing all the other YouTubers under the bus. And I don't like that. Yes, I think that's great that you also buy products and you receive products as PR and, you know, give your honest opinions of it. But I think if you're someone who honestly can give your honest opinions, you shouldn't have to say that. Like, I feel like you shouldn't have to show how you are better than other YouTubers. It should come through your actions and your videos and the hard work you put into your videos. And that's my opinion. Like, I think, you know, I mentioned Samantha March and Jen Love's reviews. I think they are both phenomenal at showing that you can buy products, receive products, and still be unbiased and just share your honest reviews, whether you hate a product, whether you like it, whether you got sent it as PR, whether you purchase it yourself. And I feel like that speaks so much more clearly to the person instead of sitting over there saying, well, since I had to buy it and I'm not just sitting here only showing stuff sent to me on PR, that's why you can trust me. I hope that makes sense. I don't think you should have to throw people under the bus in order to advance or in order to show that you are an honest YouTuber. I think if you are an honest YouTuber and you want to grow on this platform, just be an honest YouTuber and let your actions speak instead of your words. So there's a pet peeve of mine. All right, so there you have it. That is a truthful YouTuber tag. I feel like I was a little more spilling the tea than I meant to be. And I really hope that this video doesn't come across the wrong way. I know I can struggle with my words a lot in conveying my meaning clearly. Take it lightly. I don't mean any of these. Like, if you do something that I don't like, or if you love Trend Mood, don't think that I hate you now. Or if you're someone who bandwagoned on, you know, some particular product, or if you are, you know, a part of the cancel culture, that's great. Like, I don't hate you. You're welcome to leave your comments down below and inform me and educate me. I am all open for constructive criticism. I'm always open to learning, but I just want to make sure you guys know, if you fell on the other side of my rant, I did not mean it hatefully, and you are still entitled to your opinion, and that is the beauty of this world and this internet. You can have your opinion, you can share it, and you can respectfully disagree. So yeah, I think that is all I wanted to say. I probably should have put that disclosure at the beginning. Anyway, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.